Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Quantum Bridge again. We have another new guest, and we're coming sort of live. It won't be live to yourselves, but from Egypt, I believe. So we've had a little sneak peek of where Katy is, but I'm going to hand over to Casper to introduce our guest for today.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, welcome everybody. I am lucky enough to be friends with a couple of guys that know Katy, not least a lovely woman called Griselle. And thank you, Griselle, for the introduction. And I'm very keen to pass across to Katy at this juncture so that, Katy, if you'd be kind enough, one, welcome. And secondly, if you don't mind giving a bit more background to yourself, your full name pronounced properly, because I thought I might stumble at the middle name that I saw, and then we can jump into a few questions about your life and sort of where you're at.
Okay. Well, I'm Katy Noura Butler, and I've been working with the mysteries, and certainly professionally with the tarot, for 50 years.
Wow.
I've been living in Egypt for more than 27 years, right by the pyramids of Giza, in the village of Nazis, which is actually a portal. I'm right in front of the Kefren middle pyramid. I think I might be able to show it. You might be able to see it from my desk here. I'd love to show you. Can you see it? Yeah.
Not quite. I can't anyway.
No, the light is too bright.
It's to do with the brightness of the light. Yeah.
I'm right in front of the Kefren pyramid, which is, and I've lost it. It's the middle. I shouldn't have moved that. Are you still there?
Yeah. Don't worry, we're still here.
Well, I'll just carry on talking then.
Yeah.
It's the middle. It's the middle star. It aligns to the middle star in Orion's belt. The three pyramids are aligned to those three stars, and it's the portal. It's actually a portal to higher dimensions of consciousness. I've been living here and working on my system called the Egyptian Star of Life, which is a system of achieving divinity through the sacred marriages of the inner gods within you. It's an Egyptian model for consciousness. I think it's a bit like the Kabbalah, in as much as you've got 10 spheres and 22 pathways on your journey to enlightenment and self-knowledge and wisdom. But anyway, that's my work. But I've also been working with the tarot since I was in my 20s and teaching it. And it's connecting to the doctrine that really the tarot as a doctrine and system did begin in the temples of Egypt. There is a wonderful Greek philosopher called Iamblichus that writes of a 22-stage initiation and in a temple by the Sphinx, which completely mirrored the journey of the major arcana of the tarot. So it's a system not only of divination, but of cosmic law, explaining. It's a sort of compendium of magic, cosmic law, if you understand the system. So I've been working with that system and working with bringing people to initiations and things all these years, and coming and going from London and other places. But I've got a flat in London, so London was my childhood home. And West London and Cairo here now is my spiritual home. I've got a husband and I've got some animals and children and grandchildren here, and I'm surrounded by the village. I've converted to Islam actually about 5 or 6 years ago, but that was really in a sort of socio community thing that I wanted to do when I got to 70. And there's a beautiful little cemetery here right by the Sphinx, Islamic cemetery, which is a family plot. I kind of rather thought I'd get that sorted out when I got to 70, so I could end up there in my mortal form, right by the mortuary temple of Anubis. Well,
Amazing.
yes, yes. I'm laughing at my own hubris actually, but you know, and I'm also laughing because this particular time is a very liminal time for me. And I really am working with the principle of Anubis very powerfully, a calibrator of the scales. I mean, look what's happening to us on our borders, right?
Mm.
And you can't not but feel that. And there's nothing you can do about it, except feel sickened and helpless. And then, of course, you get ill. So what I'm having to do, and I know that I'm having to do this as a task, not just for me and my family, but for everyone. You know, I've got to be here at the pyramids really finding that perfect axis, that perfect calibration that Anubis represents. You know, he's the calibrator of the scales in the halls of justice. He's the calibrator of the scales of your own self-judgment. And so I'm having to find that fulcrum in myself. I'm very challenged. I've got life and death issues going on around me, but having to find that perfect fulcrum, which is what Anubis means. And he, you know, he's the watcher at the threshold. He's the guardian of the perils of the underworld. So as well as being the Lord of embalming and preservation, he's half dog and he's half God. He's a divine canine within all of us. You know, the best friend you can have is your dog. And loyal and forgiving and powerfully protective and deeply intuitive.
Although a sheep can be a good friend too, right?
Oh, the sheep and the dogs get on so well. He's saying that because I've got this beautiful sheep. I'm going to have to show you her.
Yeah, please do, Katy.
I hope you can see her because I can't see you. But this is Rashida.
Brilliant.
She's a queen. Rashida, say hello to your adoring public.
Wow.
And there she is on the throne of Isis. She's got the throne of Isis, and she's got a really good friend here, her friend Ruby, who's there with her.
Oh, yeah.
The black and white cat.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now, yeah.
There's many cats here, and there's dogs, and there's cats, and there's kids, and oh, I don't know, it's just lovely. And it's all ordered. Everybody's happy, you know, it's not chaotic. So the fulcrum, you know, the fulcrum. And I think it's really important. This is the Friday prayers going on outside. I hope they're not distracting you.
No, it's fine.
No. That's right.
It's the mosque, you know, it's the time of prayer on this Holy Day Friday. It's not really the ideal time to do a recording. I should have thought of that.
I don't know. It's good for atmosphere.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yes. Maybe it's
because I was going
to
say to you how initially when you were first either visiting or getting a place there and so on, how easy or not was it to assimilate at some level?
Oh, Casper. Is it Casper I'm talking to because I can't see
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Well, Casper, I was propelled here. I was absolutely propelled here. And I mean, it was another world then. There was no ATM or mobile phone or internet. You know, it really was coming into a timeless other world. And I was propelled here by, I had a big epiphany in the British Museum by the statue of Sekhmet. And she spoke to me. She spoke to me. I mean, she spoke to me internally. It was like a big roar. As I stood in front of her, the noonday sun came up the window and it illuminated. I was in an emotional crisis at the time, as I'm sure you know, when these epiphanies happen, don't they, after the dark night of the soul?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it went like this. It was sort of roaring through my cells. And you know, I had it very strange how I didn't be there. You know, something had got a hold of my ankles, and I was at a meeting in Mallet Street, and I would normally have gone to get the tube to Notting Hill, and something got hold of my ankles and carried me like a little zephyr. It was a spring morning. It was the daffodils were out in Russell Square. It was cold and fresh. And I was carried along, borne along by this till I came to the British Museum. and just right down to the Egyptian room and stood in front of these three statues of Sekhmet. And she was the one seated under the window, and she was holding this black basalt, oh, beautiful, beautiful lioness goddess. And I stood, gazing at her, and sort of awed at her beauty. And God, I got this awakening. And I thought, oh God, I'm going to have to, yeah. And I came home that night, and a couple of strange things happened, like powerful things. And then my friend took me out to dinner and said, no, let's go on a holiday. Come on, let's get away. You need a break. And I said, Egypt. And she said, oh, I don't know about Egypt. It's a bit, tense. And I said, no, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm going to Egypt. So she said, oh, well, all right, then we'll go to Egypt. And we came to Egypt. And I just knew then I was there. I thought, what am I doing here? It really wasn't like on a tourist trail or anything. There I was in this place. And I just connected with the villagers, and I did a tarot reading for somebody. And I just got under the culture straight away. And then I realized I had to bring people here. I had to bring people to the gods. And I did, and I gave up. I gave up. I was no question about it. I was doing all right in London. I had been in the theatre, and I'd come out the theatre, and I was developing my work, as a psychic and a healer and clairvoyant with the tarot and teaching. And I've been teaching at quite a high profile, actually, on the radio and on the telly. And then there was nothing. I was here, and this is where I had to be. And then, of course, I met Hisham, and we fell in love, and that sort of kept me here. And then the family happened, and I took on people, and there again, it all sort of organically grew. But that was on the sort of emotional, actual levels. On the deeper inner levels, I was being a star of life. The star of life. It took me 13 years to get that down. Here, I'll show you the diagram. Because that's fine.
Katy, while you're doing that, can I quickly ask you, is your partner local?
Yes. He's a desert man, and he's 17 years younger than I. But we've been really happily married for 26 years, and we're still in love. He's still madly in love with me. It's so sweet. Yes, and that's so nice to have that, in one's life. And
absolutely.
It's really important, especially if you're working with magic. You've got to have that lovely, pure, happy, intimate passion going. It's so lovely. I'm so blessed in that.
Do you feel that he's an anchoring force for you?
No.
I obviously haven't met him yet.
No. He's like a tornado.
Right, okay, yeah. The opposite of an anchoring force that forces you to be an anchor.
I'm the anchoring force.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the anchoring force. I'm the anchoring force.
Coming back to that concept of balance that you mentioned, being so important. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the odd thing is Shy. Oh, yes. Please, Shy, bring here. Shop round. I'll get you some teammates. No.
I love the informality of this, by the way, Katy. I think it's wonderful.
Oh, I have to introduce you to come here. Wait till you see this. I always encourage the maids to bring their children to work because I believe in it. And look what we've got today.
Hello there.
Hello.
That's Mustafa.
What's your name?
He can't see you.
Oh,
he can't see you because
okay.
I've lost it. But
what was his name again?
Mustafa.
Mustafa. Lovely that we could see you.
Yes, he's so lovely. Go on. Go on, Mustafa. No, there's no one there. My fish. Yana. Igri mama. And it's lovely to have that. And
he had a wonderful smile, Katy.
Wonderful smile, honestly. Yeah. Such a happy little boy, such a joy to have around.
Yeah.
His mother's quite somber. But anyway,
balance again, Katy. Balance.
Balance, yes. Yes, indeed. Well, he and I get on great. We really like each other. and he comes in every day, and he's really no trouble at all. You know, he's just sitting there with a paper and pencil. And
He looked very
before you know it,
charming to me, I must say.
delightful. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mustafa. Yeah, and yes, so there's all sorts. Yes, informality. Well, I think that's sort of more hospitable,
Well,
don't you?
it's life. Yeah, well, I much prefer that.
Yeah.
Much prefer that. We
Yes,
don't want
I'm
anything
glad. Well,
stilted, you know.
no, 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 of course not. No, that's horrible, stilted. And, you know, there were some people that came to do some videos on me a few years ago, and they had me all done up and they had it all set. And, you know, they made me look very nice. But, you know, and I couldn't do it. I was so inhibited
Yeah.
that my teaching was getting lost. And people were saying to me, what's the matter? What's the matter with you?
Well, I imagine a lot of what
And
you
I
do
thought,
comes from an element of flow, really. And if something disrupts
yes, and
that
alignment.
flow,
Yes.
yeah,
Ah, yes, the flow and alignment and
yeah,
spontaneity, which is
yeah,
where I
yeah,
think the true
yeah.
magic lies. Oh, thank you, Mustafa. Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Katy, there feels to me like there's so many different. I mean, we've only very basically rudimentary sort of touching on your earlier
Yes,
life, and now a bit about what you've been doing and how you've assimilated and so on. It feels to me
yes,
there's all of these channels that we could talk about, whether it be the tarot or magic as a more holistic look at
well,
magic and what that means to you. I think we
yes,
probably do need to reconvene at some point
yes.
and
There's
look at
also
maybe,
the whole story here of the
yeah,
family. That's, you know, that's a real interesting saga in itself. You know, I could tell you how the family grew here. That's a really
yeah,
wonderful story,
yeah, yeah.
which I think people, you know, people should know. All right. Yes, of course. Honestly,
Because
Catherine, whatever you
I
like.
actually that's
It's
a
been a
very good
joy
point
talking
though,
to you.
Katy, because I think that your family life and how that's emerged and changed and developed is a
Mm,
wonderful backdrop to
mm,
all of
mm.
those other sort of quote unquote occult or more esoteric
Yes.
areas. Yeah,
Well, you know, yes, occult esoteric, but you know, also the way, obviously, the way what I really learned here, living in, you know, this Islamic village, which is, you know, there's no foreigners here, you know, and there's no tourists here. They come in, you know, just to look at things, but they don't live here. And there's no sort of expat or any whiff of that here. But what I've really learned is, you know, how to be present, to be really present. This is how they live, you know, these people here. And they're completely forgiving. I mean, and inclusive in a way that you would never experience in the UK, no matter what sort of community you came from. You know,
yeah,
these people, I think, because they're subscribing to the Quran, which is very intelligent in terms of understanding human nature. But their God is an all forgiving Father. He's merciful and compassionate, and He loves them, and He's given them this wonderful world, you know, to live in, and they will return to His bosom one day. All of them really, really believe that. That's so lovely.
yeah,
They don't fear death.
yeah, yeah. Well, that
It's
the
such,
liberation of that in itself has a huge,
yes,
powerful force, isn't it?
it's very, very magical. Yes, and I think, you know, living here by the pyramids, I can't I can't say that this would be the case in every Islamic village, but in this particular one, you know, which I've learned so much from them, you know, about that. But yeah, really lovely to see. Be very lovely for people to know that story.
Yeah,
And
well, let's do that. Let's reconvene. This has
we'll
been at least a sort
reconvene.
of taster or a teaser for what is to come. And
Okay.
we
Well,
can
let
put
me
this one
know.
out and then
I
we can
do.
reconvene and go into that story in more depth, if you don't mind.
No, of course not. I'm very happy to share with you, and also, you know, introduce people to the concept, you know, of this growth through virtue. It's that's what I was about to say. You is to grow and achieve your divinity through manifesting those divine qualities within yourself and your life, and that's how you do it. So there's, you know, there's it's a sort of journey to the soul, which only really knows how to love, but intelligently. It's all there.
I think that in
all-
itself, I mean, even if we centered on that area next time, I mean, that's a huge, that's a never-ending well anyway. So
Yes, I know, but it's really what it is. It's
Yeah.
really what it all is.
Yeah.
And that's what I really learnt here. I learnt about that.
Mm.
And as you say, that's what you come to the pyramids to find.
well, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay,
All
I'm
right,
conscious of time. Lovely
All right.
to see you
Thank you.
guys. And
That Mustafa's saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
okay,
Say
we're
goodbye.
waving goodbye. He doesn't know, maybe, but we are.
Goodbye.
Bye, Mustafa.
All right then.
See you,
God bless.
Katy.
Let me know when you
We'll
want to meet
convene again. Thank you very much for your time.
All right then. Okay.
Take care.
God bless.
Have a lovely day. Bye.